drive out Cherry Valley Way. What street is that? For you, Singleton Road? I've got a little. It's gonna be tough to get out of here. I should have ran the video when I took a little baby bird, a little bush tit. Was somebody found it falling out of the nest and took it out to Leslie at the pond digger. She's up here above Flo's. I was gonna turn around and go back and run the video. Oh man, this is gonna be pain in the ass. Go, dude. Ooh, no, don't go, dude. Oh man, they come flying over that freeway. Yeah, this is a. Don't turn around here. Man, they come flying across there. Pretty sure that was Singleton, maybe? I don't know. Here's this monstrosity. God, I can't believe this. This huge warehouse they built out here. It's such an eyesore. That water tower, I haven't been on there in a year. That water tower, that may be a cell tower. Sometimes they'll hide them in, like in Redlands, they got one in San Tim Canyon. It looks like a water tower, but it's actually a cell tower. So I'm wondering what that is. I bet you that's what that is. It's like a, million square foot. There's 2 or 3 of them. There's 1, there's 2. That big valley to the left, when you looked up, oh, it's so beautiful. When you looked up to the mountains to the left, 10,000 foot ridge, little San G. It's all warehouses now. Makes you want to barf. It's like, come on, man. But everybody orders. I'm guilty of it too. Amazon and China Mart, Walmart. Click, click, click. Cheap Chinese crap made by slave children chained to machines. I try not to. I try to buy them. I'll pay it 10% more, 15% more if it's American. I usually look to see if there's an American version. But they got to bring. Oh, somebody's planting some new trees right there. They got to bring back. And under Trump, they're starting to bring them back. The car manufacturers. Look at this new rose place here. Look at all the roses on the left. It's called the Luna Rose. I need to go in there and look around. I just redid my yard. I got 7 roses, but I need a couple. A couple of them did 2 months. And I soaked them. I'm about ready to give up. I was reading about them online. They said give them like 6-8 weeks. Because like 4 of the 7 sprouted up right away. One of them took about 5 weeks. But I got 2 left that just... One's green and the other one's brown. But the white brown one looks dead. The green one, it's green looking. But I got it in a big pot. It must be like a 25-gallon pot or more. Ooh, Cherry Valley Nursery. It's too hot now to be walking around out there. I'll come back when it's cooler. It's 90 degrees, already 92. Plus I got a bum leg, so I gotta make sure they got what I want. That's a good nursery. And they sold it to the worker there. God, what's his name? The guy who was like the head worker guy. The owner's retired. Congratulations. And they sold it to like the #1 worker guy. I can't remember his name. But it's still good service, good quality stuff. I want to get a Mexican hat, those bright yellow and red bushes, Mexican hat they call them. I love those. If you ever go down to, is it Coachella? It's where Yellow Mart is. If you know where Yellow Mart is in Coachella, that whole street's lined with them. It's beautiful. That's my favorite color, yellow, and it's got red in there with it. They're like a little, about the size of a softball, flowers. And they get about 8 feet high, 8 feet around. Oh, they're beautiful. Mexican hat. I need one of those. I need to get some a raspberry. See, it's end of July. I don't think it's a good time to be planting. It's too hot. I'll have to check. I'll have to wait till spring. I wanted to get I got my blackberries in. I got some thornless Douglas blackberries. I had a thorn one. Man, those thorns. I hate them thorns. You can't see them. Oh, do they hurt. I wonder if I should go up and come down Wildwood. Why don't I do that? I'll go up Beaumont Avenue, hit Cherry Valley, and then come down Wildwood. That's a nice drive back there. I had been out here, God, it's been about a year. And I stopped in at Flo's. Got the hot links and scrambled eggs for $15 and some fruit. They've got a roof now over the patio, and they got like plastic glass, windows with the fans going. It's nice. It used to be hot out there on the patio without a roof. I think they had sunshade. Whoa, the illegal e-dirt bikes. Yep, he's already riding a wheelie. The DMV considered. We just had an incident with them in Redlands. They pack up and they ride around both. They take up both lanes. They flip you off if you try and go around them. They're like little punks, little gangs. But the DMV considers them motorcycles. Those Surons. They don't have any brake lights, no tail lights, no turn signals, no headlights. Tires aren't approved. You got to be 18 and have a driver's license for a motorcycle. That's what I don't understand about them. I mean, it's pretty stupid. When we were kids, we didn't ride on the street because number one, you get run over. Number two, it brought the cops. The cops really don't step in them out here now. The lawlessness in the streets is just, the guys who do the burnouts, every night in the streets, the circles. But the other thing was, I didn't like riding on, you didn't like riding on the street because your knobby, your dirt tire that had the big knobs on it, the street would wear that out. It would tear it up. And you don't have a lot of control on a street with a knobby. So, I was buying my own tires. There's Flo's right there. 7 to 2? I'll look. I wonder if this thing has actually got barbecue. I'll have to ask. Oh, the new owner. There's a new owner, Kamal, with a K. He bought Flo's a year ago, he said. Nice guy. He was out there busting tables. It's kind of surprised to see an owner. But some of them do. They just hop right in and... We'll go up to... see where Leslie Triplett, her husband's a pond digger. If you remember Pond Digger on Mentone Boulevard, the pickup truck that had a waterfall coming out the back of it. It was there east of where were they at? They were on the east side of Mentone, south side. That big open gravel lot, and they had a pickup truck out front. And he does like waterfalls and ponds, decorative. He had a waterfall coming out of the back of that pickup. They were there for a year, and then they moved over here. She's a licensed rehabber. She's under Candy. She's up here a ways. It's been a while since I've been over here. Remember the apple farm? I was over here a lot. Here's a museum if you want to. That's a cool museum too. Where's it at? Here it is. Edward Dean Museum is closed today. That's a cool museum. In fact, the apple fire started right up here, I think right above Leslie's. They called it the apple fire because the street was called Apple Court or Apple Drive. They usually name a fire after a landmark. And they traced it to I'm pretty sure it was official. It was a guy in a diesel truck, and he had a bad exhaust, and he was spitting embers going up the hill, and that's what torched it off. There's Leslie right here on the right. Pondegger Ranch, 9012. It's like going to the zoo there. I mean, she's got everything there. Horses. She has a once a year fundraiser too. You can come up. But there's pigs, there's geese, there's... What else did I see in there? She's got all the critters. She's rehabbing opossums and coons. And I took her a little bird, she called it a bush tit. I got a couple that hang around my pool. They're small. They're like wrens. They're kind of small. Itty bitty goober. I guess he fell out of his nest. Somebody picked him up and put him in a little pan. But she said they're like Hummers. I've transported Hummers for them before. I do transport for her and Candy, Pony Express. I take them I pick them up and go drop them to the rehabber. Hummers, you got to feed like every hour, so you got to get help fast. And you just can't start shoving water down their throat because you'll kill them. They've got a special little tube in their throat that they drink through. So if you shove water in their throat, you'll drown them. It'll go into their lungs. So yeah, listen to rehabbers. Every time we get a post about a hurt critter, people jump on there. I used to do this and this and do that, and it's like half the time the advice is bad. You know, on what to feed them or give them water. Don't listen to those people. Listen to a rehabber. That's what we tell people. Don't jump in here if you're not licensed rehabber. Don't be giving advice, because I just deleted a couple. This is wild, right? I just deleted a couple posts where somebody jumped in and was like, "Oh, give him cornmeal, give him water, do this." Well, right? Yeah, well. Last time I was over here was trap that dog. Somebody tied a pit bull up over here. Maybe not. That was a couple years ago. Somebody tied a pit bull in the back of this Hidden Meadows on the left here on a pole. And this is mountain lion country. Mountain lion when I got it. In fact, when I got here, he had chewed through his leash. I think he knew it was not a good place to be tied off to. That's how mountain lion tracks I was in here. He chewed through his leash, so I set a trap. Boom, I had him in like 15 minutes. The only problem was he was really aggressive. And I tried to spend a little time with him, and he was not calming down. And another lady showed up. God, I can't remember her name. And I'd called animal control then, and he was like an hour out. And I said, "You got an hour. You know, if you can calm him down." She was going to take him. You know, try and get him into rescue. And he was vicious. He was probably abused. I felt so bad for him, because usually I can sit with a dog. Especially, she was a woman. So women, it seems like they have better luck at it. They'll sit and talk to them and feed them treats. And if you ever watch that guy Rocky on Facebook videos, he'll go into kennels and he'll sit down. You don't want to look at him. You don't want to make eye contact. That makes him nervous. But he'll sit and he'll slowly feed them treats. And they get comfortable with him being there. And then he calls it the scoop. He gets where they're comfortable enough where he can pet them, and it really helps decompress the dog, calm him down, and then he'll pick them up, put them in his lap, and then they just they trust him. That's the one thing about it. You got to get their trust. But some of them come in so scared. I don't take dogs in a pound anymore. The pounds are so full. And last time I took a dog, I trapped honestly, it was a German Shepherd. But it was after hours, so Redlands cop shows up. They usually would run a cop over there to open it up. And I had walked the dog while I was waiting, and we were sitting there, and I was petting him, and he was cool. And once I opened the door and he heard the dogs know we're out there. They're just going nuts. It's like and then he showed up. We tried to walk him in on a leash, and it's like a gauntlet at prison, man. You're walking by all these kennels with dogs going bananas. One dog was hitting the roof, jumping, and we almost lost him. He started going in his spinoramas, and so we get him back outside, and the cops all freaked out. I don't think, he said he came because he was a dog lover. He jumped on the call, but I don't think he realized how traumatic that was to a dog. I mean, it was freaking us out. It's so loud, and they're so crazy sounding. And so I said, look, let's put him back in the trap, and we'll carry the trap in. Which is, it's a lot more difficult. You got to carry. It takes two people. It's a big trap, and we're down by Wildwood State Park now. Beautiful park down here. There's this, I think, this county park, city park, and then down a little further. That on the left, I believe, is the city park. Wildwood Canyon, and on the right there goes up to, and that's a city park on the left. The state park is on the right. It's a nice hike up there. A lot of people would take their horses up there. This is a nice park here. I'm gonna let this guy pass me. He's going on my tail. I'm not a fast driver. Or can I let him pass? I'll do this. I'll let him go that way. Anyway, back to the dog. What happened? Oh, we put him in my large trap. We carried him in. We carried it. We had to walk by. That was like the last kennel. We had to walk by every dog, and they were just going berserko. And the cop didn't want to do it. He was so upset, and I understood why. I was like, yeah, no, this, I ain't got nowhere to take him. Like, nobody wants to sponsor him. So we get him in the kennel. We got him in the back of the kennel. Would you imagine that? It'd be like going into prison, and every prisoner is going berserko, like you see in the movies. And you're the new guy, and you're already freaked out because you're lost. You've been out on your own for a couple days at night. Maybe got chased by coyotes, and it sucks. And now they're full. Not that they won't even take them. So many people are dumping dogs. So it's a bad situation, because if I don't have anybody to a rescue or a foster, I'm not gonna. I don't want to trap the dog, because I can't take them myself. What happened up there? They build them more up there? Whoa! We built that little cabin right there. Look at Buddy Bill wired that little tiny cabin, and there's a bigger cabin beside it. God, that must have been 25, 30 years ago. Now they're building homes up there. Whoa. That was just a big field there. Looks like they hauled in a dirt. Built that up higher. Wow. Wow. That's going to ruin. Yeah, they've already got homes in there. Jeez. That guy in the log cabin lost his view. That sucks. That was a beautiful. There was nothing up here then. That log cabin sat out there by itself. That was only about 700 square foot, 800. I remember we did the wiring, so some of it was underneath, which was me, the helper, not the boss. But I said, there's rattlesnakes in there. And the boss says, yeah, I know. And I'm like, I don't want to go face to face with a rattlesnake. And he goes, well, we got to pull wire from the bottom. You got to drill. And I was like, and I no more stuck my head in there, and I could hear, the rattler going, and he was on the other side, but still, it was like, so I had one eye where I was drilling and one eye on that snake, and he stayed put. It was in the summer, so he was warm enough to, but I worked around him, and I'll tell you what, I got out of there, and I swore, I said, I'm never going under there. Under a cabin, like it was a crawl space. It's like, the hell with that. My buddy had his trailer. He pulled a new trailer into Cibola. He said he didn't see the snake. He was underneath the skirt. He looked over. He said, luckily they weren't warm enough to bite him. He said he was in range. And I was like, oh, good. I don't want to get bit in the face. There's like 2 places I don't want to get bit. And the face is one of them. Bite me anywhere, the hand, the foot, butt cheeks, whatever. But you can guess where the other one is. Oh, not in the face. Because then your face will swell up. You look like the, what's that guy in the horror movies? You look like a cyclops. I don't know anybody that's been bitten in the face. I got a lot of friends that have been bitten in the hand. I got bitten in the foot, the ankle. It's usually your foot or your hand because you're stepping or sticking your hand somewhere. I was walking in with groceries. It was at night. Never seen a snake in 45 years I've lived there. And I felt, I had some briars. I had some blackberry briars at the front where you walk in. And I thought I snagged a briar. And I looked down when I got in the house, and I see the 2 holes, and I'm looking at them, and I thought, that's not a briar. And it was starting to swell. It wasn't painful, though. So I hopped in the truck, and I was going to head to Loma Linda Hospital. It's about 15 minutes away, and I got downtown Redlands where the fire station is. I pulled in there, because I could feel my heart rate going up. And I said, what do you think, boys? And they said, yep, that's a snake bite. And I said, well, I'm going to go to Loma Linda. They said, no, you're not. You're getting in an ambulance. So they called an ambulance. They were right. Because you could all of a sudden have a reaction. And I was very lucky. It didn't envenomate me much. They call it a partial envenomation. Because they said he probably wasn't hunting. He was laying there just kind of chilling. And I stepped right next to him. And it was kind of like a reactionary bite. And I stayed there for, they checked me every hour. It only swelled up like the ankle. Like if you rolled your ankle. So after 4 hours, they just AMA'd out because they needed the beds. I said, put me in a back room and just check on me because it didn't hurt. That was the other thing. It quit swelling at the ankle and it didn't hurt. Every snake bite I've seen, it hurt like hell. It quit swelling and it was like a Friday night. They needed the beds. They were bringing in people with bad trauma and they put me in a back room and after 4 hours, they said, if I have any problem, I can just call 911. You need these beds. And the first doctor said, little Asian woman, she said antivenom. And I was like, hold on, because my friend had just got bit. He took like 10 vials, and they were like $4,000 a vial. And I said, let me see what my copay is here. And then the second guy, he was like a long-haired, hippie-looking dude. He said, he saw it first. He said, I'm not impressed with that. And then the Asian doc came and said antivenom. So we didn't do antivenom. Very lucky. But I battled AMR over that ambulance ride. It was $2,000 to go 10 miles. I battled them for a year. My insurance would slowly trickle out payments. They started threatening to put me in a collection, and I was like, come on, insurance, pay this. They finally paid it. Yeah, that's the other nightmare is medical bills. Insurance covered the emergency room, thank God. We're coming down now to, what is this, Calamasa Boulevard? I guess they got rid of the cow. Somebody said they got rid of the... Oh, there's a cow over there. Cows are still here. They're laying over to the right. If you get snake bit, don't. Benadryl doesn't work. Get to the hospital as fast as you can. Don't worry about killing a snake, because there's only one antivenom, what they call crowfab. There's only really one antivenom that they use out here. And there's a website on the Facebook. It's called the National Snakebite Support Group. Only post if you got an active snakebite, because they'll kick you out. They don't want a bunch of idiots in there. Same for your dog. They're doctors. They all handle snake bites, lots of them. So you can make sure you're getting the right blood test, that your doctor's doing the right thing. Start a post in there. For dogs, don't. Benadryl is no. It doesn't help. It's for antihistamine. It's for bites like bee or stings like bees or spiders. Don't suck on the wound like the old days. Don't hook up jumper cables like some people say. And the other thing is no tourniquet. There was a guy died in Lido Creek. He got bit over, and instead of going to the hospital, he started calling buddies and friends. And I guess he took like a half an hour of just screwing around. He died en route. Yeah, don't screw around. Get to the hospital. If you're backwoods, I would have a PLB, personal locator beacon. You can mash that button. Yeah, I hope that's not a dog. What is that? It's a cushion. For a snakebite, they'll bring in a helicopter. You got to get to the hospital fast. PLBs are about $250. But if you break a leg and you're by yourself, even if you're with somebody, you can go into shock, and you got to get. You got to get help fast. There's PLBs, and then there's I've got two of them. I got a PLB, and then I've got the old school. I think they call it a PLB, but it's actually it's the old National Ocean Oceanography NOAA beacon. It's a 406 megahertz beacon. EPIRB? I forget what they call those. We carried them in the service. That one works off satellites. It's more reliable, but you can't with the PLBs like the Garmin InReach. You can. What's that new motel? That's a nice. That Airs. Or not Airs. What is that? Makita. I stayed there a few months back to check it out. Yeah, it's pretty nice. I'm gonna go down here behind it now. Let you see. But yeah, get you a beacon. The only problem is if you fall and get knocked out, then you can't activate the beacon. But the iPhone, what do you call them? The iWatches, they have a man down alert. I don't think Android has that yet, but if you're worried about that, get you an iWatch. And I've seen rescues where they were knocked out. I guess it detects you not moving. We had those on our radios. They call them rape alarms for like prison guards. The two-way radios I worked on, if the radio sensed, the guy was vertical or horizontal and didn't move for, I think it was 5 minutes, it would trigger what they call a rape alarm, saying, "Hey, check on this guy who's got this radio." That way, if somebody knocks them out, they would. There's those Mexican hat right there. See them on the left? Oh, they're beautiful. Oh yeah, we're up at a liquor store. 63. I saw a new building going up over here from the freeway. I got a Danny's liquor. Need to get this video shut up. Anyway, up here I saw some new. Maybe it's part. This is Sorensen's. Is this Sorensen's? Yeah. Where's that? Yeah, that must be part of them. See on the right? I don't know if you can see it. There's a new building going. Pretty good sized building. Oh, that's a big building. Sorensen's Engineering. There used to be goats, right? The goats still here. If you want to bring the kids to see the goats, where'd the goats go? They were by that ball field right up here. People said, "Don't tell about the goats." It's like, why not? Little kids can come see them. I think it's back by the ball field. Yeah, it's back there. This is Douglas, right? Should be Dunlop. Well, there's a big old flag. There's a new building there. What's it called? No, there's some more Mexican hats. See them? Marcarian Law Group. If you haven't been up here in a while, you're gonna Corky's, In-N-Out Burger. Chick-fil-A. Adobe Veterinarian. Well, they got a house up here. Oh, that's right. They're building over here. This was empty for years. Remember the future Stater Brothers sign? Well, now they're finally filling it in. Wow. Yeah, that's right. It comes all the way across. There's Panera Bread in there. There's all kinds of new businesses here. Yucaipa's growing up. Chipotle, Starbucks, of course, Five Guys.